I've seen his butt.
Right. That's the first thing on there. Just press record as you said. I've seen
What are we talking about? Yoda?
I've seen Yoda's bum. His wrinkly green ass. Hi guys, welcome to Nerd Bitez, and this is going to be our big review for Star Wars The Force Awakens. Right guys, we're going to be doing a massive review, being really geeky and nerdy about the whole thing of Force Awakens. We went to see it last night, midnight showing, it was awesome. And with me I have Mr. Josh Jones, who used to be with us on Rock and Roll Nerds. Doing some stuff. If you want to see some Rock and Roll Nerds, you can just click his head right now, and it will take you straight to it.
Alright.
Thank you. And then we have Miss Alice Clarke, who is a massive, massive Star Wars fan. So we got her in to help us out as well. So hello to you both.
Yeah, this isn't my mug, by the way.
It is
It's
his.
his.
It is for tonight.
Yeah, it's for the theme.
Yeah, there's some really strong tea. Before we begin, of course, there will be spoilers. Spoilers! Right, so first thoughts. Josh, I'll start with you. What was your first thoughts of the film as a whole?
Thank you, Adam Mason. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be back on your show. Yeah. First thoughts. I was actually pleasantly surprised because like everyone going in, it was like, right, George Lucas has pretty much got nothing to do with this. He's got a little bit to do with it.
Creative consultant.
Yeah, and it's Disney, and you know, the thought I had in my head was like they did well with Pirates of the Caribbean and all that kind of stuff, thinking they might do okay with this, and again I was pleasantly surprised. I just enjoyed it from start to finish. The only criticism I've got is if you haven't seen it yet and you do go and see it, you will relate it a lot to like A New Hope. It was very similar plot to the first, well, the fourth film if you want to be technical, the first ever Star Wars film. But it was, you know, they didn't lose the spark. They stayed with the times, but it kept the spark of what the original Star Wars, the original trilogy did anyway. I like the prequel trilogy. You know, other people, you might have problems with it, but yeah, I liked it. I had a lot of fun. Well, we had a lot of fun. Yeah.
So what about you, Alice? What did you think? Your first thoughts of the film?
I thought it was brilliant. Because same with you, we avoided all spoilers or story plots.
Difficult.
Yeah, really hard. But I really enjoyed it. Watching it from like a film student point of view, I loved the way that they paid homage to the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And not in like an in-your-face cheesy kind of way.
No, it's just kind of like a tip of the cap thing.
Like the scenes going under the X-wing and just little things, which I thought was fabulous. I was just sat there. It was everything I hoped to be and more. I honestly, like I said, I went into it with a clear head.
Yeah, which is the best thing you can do. Just try and treat it as a separate film rather than trying to.
Well, maybe not separate.
Not separate, but it needs to. You need to
let it stand on its own feet.
Yeah.
Because going on like first thoughts and the first scene, I think I actually lent to you and went genius when obviously it had all the opening credit bits and all that stuff, and like in the New Hope, the iconic scene is the Star Destroyer going over. Almost attacking the audience. Yeah, in this one it was similar, but it showed a planet and then the shadow of an entire ship covering the planet. I thought that's brilliant. It's an homage to the first one.
Yeah.
It shows like that the First Order, not the Empire now. The First Order are still kick ass.
Yeah.
And you know, just strap yourselves in kind of thing. Yeah. So,
I mean, speaking of like the first thing, the title crawl was perfect.
Yeah,
it literally just came in. This was what it was. Luke's gone missing. Let's find Luke. Let's get on with the story. They didn't fuck about. They nipped it in the bud and they just got on with it.
Yeah.
And it was just really good the way they did that.
It was like we're not ruining the film, but this is the plot. You'll find out the rest during the film. So
it literally just gave you a taster.
Basically, like this is what's happened in the last 30 years.
A couple of the films
in about 3 paragraphs.
A couple of the times I've read the text in a couple of films and gone, right, some of this you didn't need to tell us.
Like trade disputes and shit. I don't care about people in semicircles talking. I don't care.
Forget the politics.
I don't give a shit. Just give me a lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to fight.
Yeah, I want to fight, damn it.
So that's the first thought thing. If it hits you straight from the get-go and you just
Those
sit back,
butterflies
relax.
just hit you. And you go, I'm here. I'm
That's
at
just Star Wars.
My dad leaned over when it goes, you know, long time ago back, Galaxy Far, Far Away. Star Wars. My dad went,
Yeah. So I think I even went.
That's when my energy started going, right, we're here. Let's do this.
I said I learned from Dad. It feels a bit surreal. Because
Yeah.
we've waited so long.
Well,
they're
quite the rights in 2012, so 3 years since they said they were doing the film.
But even then, like, it's been 10 years since
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
So, favourite characters then, and least favourite characters. Not necessarily ones you hate, but just ones that you know, didn't
what's
really...
the point, kind
yeah,
of?
either what's the point or didn't really do anything for you. But first of all, Alice, what were your favourite character?
My favourite character was Rey.
Straight away.
Straight away.
Fair enough. I can't
I said
deny
it to
that.
you when we came out, female lead.
Yeah.
And she became more and more sort of, not I guess poignant, but she sort of grew as the film went on.
Yeah, it was really good with her force powers as well. She was figuring out that she was force sensitive and what she could do as the film went on.
When she sort of realised that she could use the Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah, it was such a good idea.
Yeah. And obviously, like, they started it, so you will
A build-up.
you will drop your gun.
Yeah, it was really funny.
brilliant.
It's just like, you will unchain me and you will leave the door open. I'll unchain you, leave the door open. Drop your gun.
No, my gun.
Didn't even turn around, just dropped it and walked away. But, I mean, that was another thing as well. Comedy. There was a lot of it and it was good. I would say that one of the flaws is maybe a bit too much comedy, but at no point did it take away.
It wasn't cheesy.
It wasn't
comedy.
cheesy.
Like, it was just the odd
It was just
line,
the thing,
like,
and it was good.
You know, when they were outside and Chewie went, "Oh, I'm cold." No,
Yeah.
you're cold.
Yeah, when Kylo Ren was going mental against that thing, and George just walked away and went, nope, and walked away.
I think, if anything, this proves to George Lucas that when
comedy can work when it's not
without
forced.
Jar Jar.
Yeah, Jar Jar's
Yeah, I mean, I had no
BB-8
problem with Jar Jar.
BB-8 was at
BB-8.
risk. Yeah, I mean, he was a great character, and he filled that gap of where R2 wasn't really in the film
No,
at all.
he was just-
And he filled it fine, but there was a risk that he was going to be the Jar Jar of the film.
He wasn't.
But he wasn't. He was adorable. He was.
So, it was when he
such a
came out
cool
with the
character.
lighter.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we
talked
talked
about
about that
that. Me and Josh fucking pissed ourselves. Bing!
But they still have
It
that,
was really funny.
that weird thing of somehow having a robot be able to show emotion. Like we spoke about this about Vader. Like, you obviously weren't a robot; it was half machine, half man. But for a mask,
You could
to
see
show
so much
emotion, and a
It was
droid.
really
could do
good.
it.
Yeah,
that was the
same
only
thing.
bit that kind of made me think when he thought his master had died and he
Yeah,
rolled
he
away.
was
It was like, right, if you're a robot, you wouldn't really care. You'd just be like, oh right, master's dead. So I don't see him going like, give me a minute, I'm going to
Well, it
well
makes
up.
him a little bit more
Makes him more human. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a droid. They
Yeah,
should
that's
have
the point. They've
emotion.
always said that they've kind of made the droids as human as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Right. So, what was like your favourite character then, Josh?
Favourite, I'm going old school here because of the cliche of it. It just Han.
Yeah.
As soon as he walked in.
So, yeah. As soon as they appeared,
But
to
it
take
was-
the shit back, and they said
Chewie
they were
were
home. It was like, oh god, it's so
tingles.
awesome.
It's like he hadn't missed a step as the character.
Yeah.
It
Just
was
like straight
I'm Han,
back
I'm
into
in,
it.
let's go, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
he was, apart from Rey, he pretty much was the lead role. I mean, everyone is expectant to be Mark Hamill because Luke did
Really
carry
earned his money.
the original trilogy.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
talk about that.
We'll get to that.
But it proved like Han was as strong as a character in. Well, and no one denies he wasn't a strong character in the original film, but to almost carry the entire film on its own, which he didn't, but
It was a big part.
His character was strong enough to go like, right, these new characters, if they follow my lead, they'll be fine, kind of thing. Whether it be storyline or what happened behind the scenes, which we don't know about.
I mean, honestly, I think my favourite character is probably Kylo Ren. And I didn't think I'd
Because you
say
hate
that.
him.
Because he's so layered as a character.
With
And
the mask on, with
when
the mask
when
on.
you find
he's
out,
not a Vader.
yeah, the fact is when you find out that
But
he's
that's the thing he
actually
was trying to be.
yeah, this
Yeah.
thing he's trying to be Vader, and you find out that he's actually Leia and Han's son. He's a Solo.
Spoiler.
Don't worry about that. This whole thing will be littered. It's going to be littered with spoilers. Don't you worry, it will be littered. Yeah, when you find that out, it gives that extra layer to it, and then he's like, right, he's doing this thing for Vader because he's his grandfather, and it's more of a thing there rather than just he's a monarch to him. He's his grandfather, and
The
it's-
story then goes on.
and it unfolds, and it's really important to the biggest spoiler later on in the film.
Yeah.
And this is why I like it so much, and I think Adam Driver did an incredible job
Yeah.
as best he could, because it's always difficult to fill Vader's shoes. And I think he did
But
it
he
really
shouldn't
well.
have been trying to. I mean, I know his
No, he shouldn't
character
be trying to,
is-
but people are going to assume that that's going to be the case. They're
Yeah.
just like,
He's got a mask on.
he's the mask on, he's got a red lightsaber, he's the new Darth Vader. That's what people assume.
Yeah, I mean,
And you shouldn't, but they do.
I mean, I know we were talking about like least favourite characters and stuff, and I said at first one of the smugglers that Han bumped into, but I'm thinking about it. Nearly was going to say like the guy taking almost the Emperor mantle, but I'm thinking right, he's
Snoke.
like, yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit more time for his
Yeah, we don't
story
really
to
know
unravel.
him yet.
Yeah, and that's good because I didn't want to know too much about him.
Yeah,
Because I feel like he's going to be a bigger part in the
I was a
third
bit-
and final
Well,
one.
me and my dad looked over to each other when we saw him, and Dad was like, "Why is he so fucking big?" And then he realised.
I don't want giants in Star
I
Wars.
don't want a giant, it's a hologram. So, oh, thank God.
The only giant thing I
We're
want.
going a bit too far, Abrams.
The only thing I want giant in Star Wars is a Rancor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it needs to be like a mindless monster.
Or Walker, or something like that.
Yeah.
But as far as I didn't hate the character as such, but I thought 3PO's appearance and what he did in the film wasn't really required. They could have done with Luke and saved
the
until
point is
episode 8.
Yeah, but you can't have him without 3PO and R2. Like R2
But they were, neither of them were really in it.
Yeah, I know, but R2 didn't really have a role at all. But you still need
But
them
when
in
he
there.
when he sort of
Came to life.
to life, it was a bit like.
Yes.
It's just like, yeah!
Yeah, no, that was done well, but it wasn't the fact that
But the
like,
point
you
is, like,
wanted the Han Leia thing, and then he just comes and fucks it up, and I didn't
Yeah, but
find it funny.
I found that funny because like, they haven't seen each other in like, probably like what 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he just comes in and ruins the entire moment.
I think it was one of them where, we'll hit the big spoiler at the end of the film later, but if his appearance was left to the end of the film, I would have been a lot more like, it's 3PO, instead of like, because they didn't
But
explain his
I don't-
arm, they didn't explain why he
Yeah,
was
no,
there.
I don't think they necessarily pay much of a role to the films anymore, but you can't not have them in there.
No.
That's the thing. It's like they don't really have a point
They
to
didn't
it
really have a
anymore.
main role.
Yeah, but
so
they
then
need
sort
to
of
be
being like,
there.
oh, they're there.
Yeah, they're there. They just
Would-
need to be there. That's...
Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if like, episode 9 it turns out 3PO is the hero and sacrifices himself. It would not
Wow,
surprise me. Like,
that's
I'll
good.
hit the
Let's go
That's
George
good.
detonator.
Lucas on our ass. Go on.
Yeah, be like, I'll hit the detonator. Bang, 3PO's dead. Be like, cool, but But
What was your least favourite character?
I thought about this, have you?
No.
I
was- Although he's one of the main characters, and I wasn't too sure on Finn.
I didn't mind him. I think he did well.
I didn't mind him, but I didn't know where to place him. I could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
because
not?
there were two main characters in it, but as the time went on, Rey became the abundant main
Yeah.
character, and Finn kind of dissipated a tiny bit.
Yeah.
My thing was like, fucking hell, you change your mind really quick about what side you're on. I mean, like, they kind
Yeah,
of
it
went
was
over
like-
it, but I'm thinking I'd rather see a bit more of a conflict of like, should I stay with the dark? Well, not the dark, so First Order
First Order
and all that. But it was like, in the
resistance.
first 10 minutes, I was like, oh, look at this.
Yeah. oh, no, I
was
can't
hard.
do
Yeah.
this.
Look at this.
Yeah, I'm going to Jakku.
My least favourite character, and it's not because I didn't like the characters, because we just didn't get enough of them, was Captain Phasma. We just didn't get enough.
The
Yeah.
Metal Stormtrooper.
And I was looking forward to that because me
Yeah.
being a big Game of Thrones fan, finding out that Gwendolyn Christie was the big chrome stormtrooper was awesome. And then we got about 3 scenes with her, and then she gets thrown down into the trash compactor.
That
Yeah.
was funny though.
That was funny.
good.
So we got trash
So we got
compactor.
trash compactor.
Again, the emotion of a mask just going, what?
That was good.
Because I remember leaning to you thinking, because there's always been speculation that Solo and Leia had twins, that it was a huge rumour that Kylo Ren was, as we find out, Han's son.
Yeah,
I was
and it
thinking,
is
wouldn't
true.
surprise me if she was
The other-
their daughter as well.
Yeah,
If
that's
both
what I
twins.
thought, but I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I thought that might be the case, but as time went on, I generally think that she's going to be Luke's daughter.
Well, yeah, it's kind of when
kind of pointing
like,
towards
my
it.
favourite scene happened, which we'll get to in a bit. With the box and the
Yeah.
lightsaber.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, that's who she is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would like them to involve. Is it Mara Jade, who's Luke's
Yes,
wife?
The expanded
yes.
I'd love them to collude in one of the
They could
films at
do.
some point.
They could do.
Because they kind of missed a lot of like money things without including Mara Jade, and I always thought Aura Singh, the bounty hunter, she's such a great character. Thinking it can't involve them because we haven't got any. Well, at the minute we got no Fett. I know there's rumours that Boba might make an appearance at some point.
That's the thing. I thought Phasma would be the new Boba Fett, but it's not
She hasn't
at all.
done anything. No.
Not
I mean,
at
she
all.
might. We might be.
Yeah.
She might survive.
She might have gone out the trash compactor.
Yeah.
Come in.
Like called her 3PO and said, "Turn it up, turn it up."
She's got some red arms.
Yeah. That would explain a lot.
I feel your pain. Welcome to hell.
Yeah.
Right, favourite bits then. Starting to get into more spoiler territory here, more plot points of the story, favourite parts.
Meh.
Meh.
That's what it sound. That's what we sound like.
That's what.
Okay, but you were doing well.
Yeah, moving on. Right, so favourite bits, Josh. What were like your favourite points? Really?
I don't know. I mean, I think the introduction of each of the old characters, every scene of like when you see Han, Leia, and all them come back into play, it's just it didn't send chills as such, but it was like a nostalgic moment kind of thing. Like they're back on the big screen where they belong in Star Wars. So all those scenes were pretty good. I don't know. I think if I had to pick one again, more because of the nostalgia of it, is where it seemingly looks like Kylo Ren's talking to himself about his conflict, and then gets up and just shows the Vader helmet, thinking, right, this is almost how much he wants to fall into the darkness to be Vader. But it's not like, like how Vader was. Vader was like, I'm part of the darkness, but I want to fall back into the light. He's the complete opposite. He's like, I'm still part of the light, but I want to fall that hard so I can be the next Vader. So it was, the conflict within Kylo Ren, which I liked. Which they developed during the film. And then I think if anything, it was the lightsaber duel between Rey and Ren.
Yeah, I'd probably say that was my favourite bit. I mean, one of the best bits, obviously, you see in the trailers that Finn does take up the lightsaber, but he's he gets it. The Force ain't with him. He's getting his ass kicked by Kylo Ren. He gets knocked out, and then Rey takes up the lightsaber. And the way they do it is really good because the lightsaber's in the snow.
You just
Rey's
kind of know.
Yeah, you know.
Homage.
Yeah, it's like you know what's going to happen, but it's like I'm still looking forward.
You see him struggle.
He tries to struggle picking it up. It's like, why are you struggling? You were choking people earlier. Not a problem.
Like,
and suddenly whooshes past him. She collects it, ignites the light, and says, "Oh shit!"
She's about to kick off.
And after a certain thing that happens before that, every single time she's hitting him, I'm like, kill him! I want him dead! I want him dead!
The only way that could have been cooler to me is if it flew straight past him, straight past Rey, and Luke was there. I'd be like, here we go.
I kind of wanted the thing where she got her ass kicked, and then as he's going for the killing blow, you hear it lightsaber ignite. It pans round, and there is the green lightsaber with the hood up.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that.
Yeah, I mean...
But again, I understand what they did with Luke because... I don't want
it's a build-up.
I don't want them blowing their load in the first film.
Yeah.
I want them to say it's true though. That's, you know what I mean. That's the way you do it. You don't do that, do you?
Don't want to jizz all over the first film.
Skywalker doesn't blow his load.
Yeah,
Not that kind of thing.
You're looking at this as foreplay.
Go on Pornhub if you want that kind of thing.
So you're seeing episode 7 is foreplay, 8 as the performance, and 9 as the cigarette afterwards.
Yeah, basically.
At least we know where you stand on the whole thing.
Right. So what was your favourite bit then, Alice? Really, like your favourite scene or anything?
I loved the scene where the lightsaber starts to call to Rey.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what it is. If you hear a child's sort of voice, you think, what's down there? You really don't know what it is.
Scene, didn't it?
I had no rough idea what it would be, and when they opened up, I was
you're unsure. But I did. When it opened and it went quiet, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was getting
it's gonna be something loud.
Yeah, that's what I said. Someone's going to jump out, and I don't like being jumped.
I heard my dad go.
It's a trap!
Fuck off, Akbar! Yeah, it was good seeing him. Yeah, that was a really good scene because it just kind of the hallucination visions he had.
Yeah, and sort of, why is she seeing that? And then obviously you see sort of her being taken away. You think, well, you know, who are her? It really opens so many questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing it shows is that it says on what Han said to her earlier that Luke tried to start a new Jedi Order, Kylo Ren being one of them, which is obviously Ben Solo.
His name's Ben.
Yeah, his name's Ben, which is awesome fan service to the expanded universe because Ben Skywalker was Luke's kid and decided to call it Ben Solo instead, which is a really good way of doing it. Good flip. But yeah, I think what happened there is that he failed and obviously he went to the dark side and destroyed everything. So Rey was taken to a different planet, which is why I think she is a Skywalker to be hidden away.
Would it explain her strength of the Force as well?
Yeah, it's just like why would his lightsaber specifically call to her?
And that's the moment you're like,
I think she's a Skywalker.
There we go.
It wasn't even the thing. Well, George Lucas admits when he wrote the first 6, is like he always intended that Anakin is the chosen one. He just lost his way, and then at the Return of the Jedi, he
becomes the chosen
he
one.
ultimately did destroy the Sith, but
Yeah.
he had to destroy himself in the process.
Yeah.
And then Luke was the only one that could stop him because he had that, well, almost the same. Well, they call it midi-chlorians, don't they? DNA.
I'm glad
DNA.
we got no information about midichlorians, which is good. I didn't need any of that.
He had the same abilities, so for Rey to have all that power with not one bit of training, it would have to be like, right, she's got to have some powerful force in her, and her being a Skywalker would explain that. Like, she's a granddaughter.
I generally think it will be the case because they always try to keep it in the family, and the point of the story is it is the Skywalker story. Regardless of what happens, it is the Skywalker story, and it always will be.
Yeah.
So, I think that was one of my favourite scenes as well.
I think we have to talk about the scene we don't want to talk about.
No!
Right, I'll start.
Right, I think major spoiler.
Right.
If you thought Vader, the father, Luke thing was big, this is just as big, in my opinion. For this era.
Right, yeah, this is probably the biggest spoiler.
I can't say it.
It's difficult. I've already said it on my other review, which you can probably see up online somewhere.
Crying and
Somewhere. Yeah, almost crying. As I said on my other review, my heart was pounding the entire time this happened. I was breathing heavily. I was like, I think I might break down.
My friend told me this, and I thought, no way.
Well, at first we thought.
We thought maybe that Chewie was going to die, and it was they were setting the charges to blow up this Starkiller base on the inside, so that the fighters could attack it from the outside and ultimately blow it up. Han and Chewie were setting the charges. Kylo Ren, which is yes, Kylo Ren was looking for them, obviously knowing that it's Solo's son, and Solo sees him. You think that Solo's going to walk away. Kylo Ren starts going onto this bridge, continuing to look for him, and then he decides to go up onto the bridge. It's at that moment, he shouts Ben, and he's just like, oh my god, that
and
was
everyone's
awesome.
there.
Every character in the room is just watching.
It's just like, every character appears, but then all the characters, they're all
apart from
there.
Leia and all
Yeah.
that.
It's at that moment you're like,
You realise what's happening.
someone's
Shit's gonna go
die.
down.
It's just
I
like,
think I know who it
yeah,
is.
exactly. As soon as he went up onto that bridge, I was like, it's
One
going to
of them's
happen.
gonna die.
It is going to happen.
And it's not going to be Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
No, because
he
we
got
only really liked
closer.
some of
They,
them
they had a
later.
reconciliation. They had that kind of moment. Really good acting from both of them.
Yeah.
The mask came off, that kind of stuff. He almost passed over his
Help me do
lightsaber.
something I'm not strong enough.
Yeah. And then at the last moment, he decides to stab his own father and throw him over the bridge. That is right. Han Solo is officially dead.
Yeah.
And it was gut wrenching because it was like my entire childhood just went straight down the chute.
The thing is,
Literally went straight
Down
down.
the chute.
with,
Yeah, it
with the
was
trailers, I mean, I love trailers. Like we were talking about, a great job would be to make trailers. If they hadn't shown any of what happened in the snow forest happen, it would have took me off guard. But the fact that I was watching the scene going, no, I know he's still going to be Kylo Ren because he's still got that fight. I thought, well, if he's not going to turn to the light side, he's going to kill Han. So, even though he dropped the helmet and thinking, oh, and then he went to hand the lightsaber over, I'm in my head screaming, Han, just take it! And then
Don't
as
fuck
soon as
about!
I was like, the resistance, he just turned it on, and then obviously just straight through, and yet everyone's just no!
You heard,
kind of thing.
I think I had
I could hear a pin drop. It was silent.
And Chewie flipped out.
Yeah, Chewie got mental. He managed to get a good.
Fucking shot.
Yeah, he shot
Not
Kylo
one
Ren.
missed shot. Just bang, 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 bang,
He
bang.
got Kylo Ren in the side of the chest, and one thing I liked about that is the fight later on.
When
He was thumping his chest, and that was like, I love that anger. That he had. He's like, bang, bang. I don't want this to fuck up my battle.
Yeah.
This is like, I'm just twatting it. It was really fucking epic the way they did that.
It
was. I mean, it was just so upsetting. Really, the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't want to believe it. Even with the rumours going around, you didn't want to believe it. But when, like I said, as soon as he was on that bridge, it was.
If you know, like the backstory of it and about like why he was frozen in the carbonite.
Yeah, I mean, originally I thought to myself when they released the fact that he was a Solo kid early on in the film, I thought, did they release that a little bit too early? But then obviously it pays point to him killing Han later on in the film, so it's needed. Yeah, because otherwise it's kind of like it doesn't work. It works 10 times better knowing that it's a son killing a father. It's rather than just a bad guy killing a good guy.
I mean, they could easily push it now as if I guess at some point Luke and Kylo Ren in this next trilogy will confront each other again.
I'd hope so.
And Kylo can just I wouldn't surprise me if there's a line to the kind of theme that if he says to Luke, I was stronger than you because I was strong enough to kill my father, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Luke technically did. Well, it was more the Emperor that killed Vader.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he didn't want to kill his dad, did he?
Well, Luke can turn it around like I had Vader beat. I could have killed my own father, but I was strong enough to remain on the light side. Yeah. You weren't strong enough.
Yeah, I'm hoping that kind of stuff happens because the dialogue between the two of them would be pretty good if we do see that.
That's the bonus
And
episode.
we already know they've got history because he tried to train him and it failed miserably. So it just we know they've got that history.
The build at episode 8 will be almost like the rematch between Ren and Rey when they're both trained up.
Yeah.
Hopefully episode 9 will be the build up between Ren and Luke. Because I think that's what people want to see. They want to see Luke in a lightsaber battle again.
Yeah.
That's what I want
I'd
to
like
see.
to see him go against Snoke and
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
Yeah, I want to know more about that.
Or at least have him there as
He's
the
got to
final
go off and
battle.
finish his training, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's it. They're both going
That's
to be
the thing,
stronger.
we never
in
see
episode.
Ren get picked up, but we all know that he did get picked up.
Yeah, even though him and the ginger guy don't like each other at all.
Yeah, Domhnall Gleeson playing General Hux.
Yeah, they're just.
He
Well,
was
they're
good.
swearing up to Ren and thinking, if this guy's the next Vader, watch it.
Yeah, be
Yeah.
careful, mate. It's like, but he had some balls on him.
And it was
didn't
the
he?
bit when, and it was a girl.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
it's like, yeah,
Anything else?
And
That was a
they just
girl.
went mental. It's like,
What?
that's the thing I love the most about the character is the anger. Just the rage inside of him.
What I liked, just the last bit on Ham's death scene, when it was Finn Rey's reaction was like, right, that's pretty much every reaction of every Star Wars fan around the globe
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And so and this is the thing. The thing that I can take away from it is yes, it really sucks that Han was killed.
If Star Wars
But if
still can make you feel that
But
way.
it makes you feel that way. But if anything, it's strengthened the character of Kylo Ren because now everybody's looking at him going, "I fucking hate you!
Yeah.
I hate you so much."
Well, we don't care which one, if Finn or Rey kills him, as long as he dies.
Yeah, he needs to die.
Ray's got to kill him.
I'd
Yeah,
rather.
I hope it is Rey.
Well,
I think that they're cousins.
Yeah.
if
Again, it's not
anything-
100% confirmed this is Skywalker, but we're pretty confident
We're pretty
she is.
sure.
And if that's the case, that's probably going to be a spoiler thing that happens in the next film, like I Am Your Father
The
type
next
thing.
review.
I am your cousin.
And personally, what I would prefer, mainly because of the history, is if Rey and Finn are kicking the shit out of Kylo, you think, right, they're going to do it. And he's weakened to folk, but still, like, whether it's just one force blast, they get thrown away, think, shit, they were so close to doing it. If Chewie turned up then and just ripped his head off, or something like that.
Something just
Something
completely
like that.
random.
Just Chewie has the finishing blow.
Good night.
And just a little thing, and then one of them goes like, he says that was for Han. I would be so happy if Chewie just like, yeah, fuck you.
But I liked it when Chewie came up in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
good because
Yeah.
that's the thing is I would have thought, well, what they're going to do with Chewie now? Is he going to like go off the rails?
It's gonna
But
be
he's gone with
Rey.
Ray.
Yeah, now he's with Rey. Yeah, that's
I
the thing,
like
and
that.
I'm glad that it did that because otherwise you'd be kind of like, well, he'd just slip into depression, wouldn't he? Because Hans is his buddy.
Oh,
is
well,
his
Wookiee
best
hanging
mate.
himself.
Yeah, just used to see Wookiee's feet swinging in
The
the
giant
breeze.
noose.
Oh, don't
That's
say
all
that.
you think
Yeah.
of Star Wars, that is
Yeah,
just like,
dark
no.
Star Wars.
Yeah, dark. It's going to be 18 and the
Because
next
Star Wars
rating.
wasn't dark enough.
If it's an 18, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, shit's going down. Wookiees are hanging themselves.
It was really
Dark
weird. To, like,
times.
what I liked about Ren, kind of going back to the start of the film, was like you're thinking, right, when he's introduced, like, right, let's see what this guy's got. His power that he can just stop a laser blast and
Yeah.
keep it
That
there.
was pretty
Keep it there
without-
while talking to everybody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah,
That's a
not
good
even. He
introduction.
wasn't. And I'm not talking like he's there going, yeah, with his hand up. Hand lowered down, it's still just floating
Just
there.
using his mind to
Like
keep
that.
it
And then
steady.
he let it go when he was ready. I'm thinking, right, that's power right there.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember seeing that. The only kind of thing I remember seeing that was Vader just with the Wonder Woman. when he's stopping the lasers in Empire Strikes Back. But
Right, I'm going to direct this to you, Clarky, first. The last bit with Luke and Rey, that whole piece. What did you think about it?
I think Mark Hamill really earned his money.
Yeah, got solid paycheck there.
Oh yeah. It was I liked it,
Mm.
but I would have liked him to say something.
Yeah.
Just
That-
like when
just
she was
one word.
holding the lightsaber out, like him to go, "It's yours now," or even take it, just something instead
Just
of
thank you. Or just something.
Oh, no,
Anything.
I prefer
or just like tie up a few loose ends for like my daughter, or just something,
A word. Just
any word.
hi. Just anything.
Hi.
No, I thought that bit was kind of perfect. No dialogue required kind of thing. Because now it really wants you to want to see episode
Yeah.
8. And that's the
Yeah,
point.
I mean, I
of
suppose
the
that's one thing to
scene.
take away. It does give you more questions and more, I want answers, I want to see more of it. And that's the point of the film. It gives you more to want to see.
That's why I think
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams is
Abrahams.
Abraham.
Abrams.
J.J. Abrahams.
Abrams.
But yeah, and it completely makes sense of why he's not in the trailers or the posters now, because he's not really in the film. He's literally there at the very end. She takes the lightsaber to him, presents it to him. He turns around, takes his hood off, and I think he does like a slight smile or something.
You see in his eyes.
You see in his eye that he kind of and then it just pans out, and that's the end of the film.
That you saw his hand.
Yeah, it's like just like all the obviously the skin must have melted off because he can't keep it up.
And we all knew he had the beard, but as we took the hood off, he's got that hair in the wind kind of thing.
See, that's the thing. One thing I will say is that he looked epic. I think.
Yeah.
He looked like a Jedi Grandmaster.
It's what Obi-Wan should have looked like old.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
instead of Alec Guinness being like this.
So yeah, I mean, it was. Let's say you always kind of think to yourself, I kind of wanted more from Luke. I wanted to see him action. But we know we're going to get it in one of the films eventually anyway. We haven't got long to wait to see it.
It was more... the only thing I thought, right, okay, which is not much of a knock, because I think if they did it this way, it wouldn't have worked. Luke as a character in all the films was still very... I know he was younger then, but it was more... Even as a Jedi, he was still quite... Not happy-go-lucky, but he had a positiveness about him. This one, probably because of his character and what's happened, he seems a little bit broken.
Yeah.
And he seemed more shocked than anything else to see... Well, yeah. He seemed more shocked than anything else to see Rey there. Like, he hadn't even sensed her approach. But more than anything, I think if Episode 8 goes straight from that scene, I think I'd be more intrigued to see his reunion with R2. Because obviously that's quite a close droid-master relationship they've got.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I beforehand we assumed that he was going to take on the role of Obi-Wan, but I think he's going to be taking on the role of Yoda.
Yeah.
He's training her. He's going to be like you say. You just literally see him right at the very end, and now you're going to be seeing him in the next film training Rey like Yoda trained Luke. I think he's going to have that kind of role. He might not even use a lightsaber. He might not even go near Ren. He might just be like, I can't go near him. I'm not going to do it. But you can do it for me.
I think it piss more people off if. Again, I'm not going to say they're going to rip off the original trilogy completely, but if he just stayed on that planet, whatever it is, and I'm going to be the Yoda role, I won't even leave this planet, no lightsaber duel for Luke, that would annoy people. Yeah. I think at some point we need to see him leave and be in a duel.
Even if it came to the case that it's a lightsaber duel right at the last film, at the last moment, and he dies at the end.
Just as a reunion with Leia will need to be required.
That's what I was hoping for. I thought she was going to go off and find him.
Yeah, she just let Rey do it, didn't she? But I mean,
I liked the little "May the Force be with you." That was
quite that was nice. I also like the relationships between Han and Leia were really good. The way they handled that in each scene was really well done.
I mean, she was like, I still, no matter how long it is, I
was expecting a slap by Leia at some point, but none of that.
Yeah, I kind of wanted that with her and Luke, but we'll get that with the next film.
Whatever hasn't happened in this one, we know they're going to cover it all. I've got faith after this one that Abrams knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So...
Right, so final thoughts then, really. Josh, I'll start with you. What's your final thought of the film, and what do you think the future holds for these characters?
As a final thought, I was pleasantly not surprised. Again, like we said, I had an open mind. Yeah. So I went in, I thought, it's going to be Star Wars, so I think I'll be lying if I thought, well, part of me is going to like it anyway. But I thought, right, no, they've really impressed me here. They've... It seemed nothing like the prequels, which, again, I had no problem with the prequels, but I liked that. It seemed like, right, he's trying to keep as... He's almost ignoring 1, 2 and 3 and thinking, right, we're just going, this is a sequel to 4, 5 and 6, not anything else. So, yeah, I was really happy with it. As far as the future goes, I think, like we discussed with Luke, the ending with Luke, it's like, right, that'll be where it kicks off. Just like whatever happens between him and Rey, and obviously Chewie and R2 are there. And Finn's in a coma. So we've still got to wait for him to wake up.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't touch on my other review. Yeah, he's in a coma.
Yeah, he got injured during his fight with Kylo.
Yeah.
And
it seems to be like a relationship blossom between him and Rey. I don't know whether it will deteriorate to anything. That's the thing, I don't know whether I want it.
I want it.
Yeah. I mean,
there's enough romance
if it did happen, that's fine, because now we don't have the romance between Han and Leia.
Yeah.
You have to have some kind of romance, but it doesn't need to be a forefront.
No.
Like Padme and Anakin, it was just like forced and not good.
I think this film was more...
If they treat it well, where they treat it like it's a Han and Leia relationship, where it's not like, I love you, I'm going to die inside if you don't.
I'm going to kill children for you.
If they go the kind of, I love you, I know type feel,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
like
kind
a
of-
best friend.
Yeah, just
kind of.
like we love each other, but it doesn't mean that we can actually have a full relationship.
Yeah, we've got to go and destroy some galaxies.
Yeah.
I think this one will be this one was like Star Wars is back, so we're gonna give you everything you want from it.
Yeah, the fan service was good.
Yeah, we're gonna have our original story, so we got a future for it. But this is like we want to give you the same excitement the first film did in 1977, and if maybe when the Phantom Menace came out, that excitement. That next one I think are gonna go similar to what happened with Empire. I think it'll be much darker.
Yeah.
They're gonna like the mystery of
They're gonna
Kylo Ren's master.
Go into it and who, yeah.
Yeah, it would just be like right.
I think we'll learn about who, like more character roles.
Development, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
That Empire Strikes Back is very character driven. If you actually think about it, they have the main final battle at the start of the film, and then after that, we don't have big battles.
Well,
We
that's
have lightsaber
almost-
fight, and it's all character driven. You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah, it was almost what happened in this one as well. It went straight into the action, but it wasn't an epic battle as
No.
such. It was what like
Yeah, the epic battle was the end for this.
yeah. It was like the attack of the Death Star. It was very much more. It was more the Return of the Jedi Star Wars battle. Than
Yeah, I
anything
mean,
else. Like
the
the
only
shield
thing
is
I'll say,
down.
like the Starkiller
Yeah.
base was a pretty cool concept, but it was kind of not developed enough to be as a really threatening force like the Death Star.
Yeah, it didn't
It's kind
seem
of
like an
it's
original
here,
idea
we need to
either.
kill it, and that's
Yeah.
it. That was probably one of my only like disappointments. Is that like it's just there for them to destroy,
It-
just to obviously further the plot of these characters, which
Yeah.
you know is fine, but
But
I would have liked a bit more development of the creation.
the threat of it. Yeah,
the
I mean, the only
because
threat.
you knew that threat as soon as you saw the Death Star for the first time, and the way they talked about it and introduced it is like that fucker is scary.
Well, yeah, the only
It looked scary because it looked half finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only threat they kind of went was like even Han like nailed on the head because like this is the Death Star, this is the planet, and Han was like, so what? It's big, and I was like, well, yeah, so what? It
That's
could
true.
be,
But
and we know
like,
it's
like,
powerful.
there must be a way to destroy it. There's always a way to destroy it. That was quite funny as well. The way they kind of a little wink to the audience, kind of like,
Exactly.
there's always a
There's
way
a
to
reason
destroy
to do
it.
But yeah, that was
It's
it.
destroyed because reasons.
But it wasn't like when they went, oh, we'll take the shields down. It was like, oh, okay. It was none of the whole like, well, how are we going to do that? It was just like, oh, the black guy knows. But it
That's the thing, he didn't know. He got there and he goes, no, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I mean,
And they
to
figure
say,
out,
Then he goes,
oh, great.
Then he goes, oh, we'll use the Force. That's not how the Force
I love
works.
that bit.
Yeah, that was really good. That was.
As far as the future of it, it's like obviously it's going to be the training of both the training of Kylo and Rey, and I kind of think when Finn wakes up, we'll see a development between not a relationship like him and Leia and Han, but some kind of bond between him, Leia. The characters he's left surrounded with, like
Yeah,
3PO.
so him and Poe Dameron and stuff like that, they're all
and
together.
Yeah, Kylo's from Poe Dameron.
what's it
Yeah.
called? BB-8. That's it.
BB-8.
He's still there.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not going to say, like I said, I'm not saying they're going to rip off the entire original trilogy altogether.
But,
But-
as long as they pay homage to it, is the main.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me if Kylo or one of the bad guys are chasing Leia and Finn across the galaxy here in some kind
Yeah.
of thing to try and find Rey.
Yeah.
Because I think the main plot or the main mission for the First Order still will be find Luke. Because I
Yeah.
think that's it. They want no threat against them. They take out the last remaining Jedi and they'll be like, nothing can stop us now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's another one.
Well, yeah,
Oh, wait,
we're
there's
going
another
to stop the
And it's a
training.
girl.
It's a.
Yeah.
It's a girl.
So I'm
She can cry and bring down the galaxy. Please don't.
It's her time of the month. Stay
Yeah.
away, she
Whoa!
will hurt you.
Just stay away from that planet for a week, and then we're good.
okay. We're
So-
so dark.
You're going dark again. So, what your final thoughts of it then, Anna? What what did you think about it? What do you think it holds?
Well, same with Josh. I went into it with an open mind,
Yeah,
and
which I think is the best thing
Me
to
too.
do.
that's what you've got to do.
Yeah,
Don't
you-
go into it. Don't read things on the internet. Don't
No.
watch this before.
Yeah, watch this after.
Watch this after. Go into it with an open mind, and then you'll see. Like I said at the beginning, I loved how they paid homage to the original trilogy.
Yeah,
And not in a cheesy way, literally tiny little things, and it's like, oh,
I
it's
like that.
for the older fans.
Even the canteen thing.
Yeah,
it's like-
it was
it's like-
almost a canteen.
yeah,
yeah,
did that
wasn't
kind
it?
but they had
feel.
a new spin on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's
brand new monsters and all this
New
kind of
music.
stuff.
Yeah. New
Alright.
music, but it
I
made
mean, the
it kind
music
of
wasn't
took-
memorable
No.
for that bit,
Kind of
but
took
it was
you
still
back
good.
still.
Yeah, it still made you have
Yeah.
that feeling.
Yeah.
Holds for the future. I think Ray's just gonna.
Yeah.
Kick
She's
Kylo's
gonna,
ass.
she's
Kick
gonna
Kylo's
own.
ass,
And I'm so happy that we've actually got a female-led thing.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't really tell with the trailers whether it was actually going to be her or whether it was going to be Finn.
They're all breaking out of the gender roles.
Which is good because again it's with Captain Phasma as well, having a female bad guy as well was good. And I think it's a case of it shouldn't matter about whether you're a boy or a girl, white or black. If you've got a good character arc and you've got a good role to play and everything, and you're a good actor or actress, it shouldn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I wanted to stray away from with this is not just episode 8. I'm talking about 9 now. I keep saying like even though I keep saying I've got no problem with the original trilogy, but I really don't want them to rip the whole thing up. So when it gets to episode 9, I don't want them making that whatever the Death Star rip-off thing again. I don't want to go like,
like
another one.
no, this is Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
What I'd rather them
the Falcon goes inside it. No.
Yeah, what I'd rather them is episode 8 is focus on there's still the war going on, but it's mainly between Kylo's
it needs to be character driven. Really.
Episode 9, I don't want a whole it's a trap kind of shit. What I want is just
no Ewoks. I mean, I like the Ewoks. I love the Ewoks, but I don't think we need it in this universe now.
I'd rather a huge build up of the First Order going, right, we know where the Resistance are. Again, I don't get why they just didn't stay with Rebellion, but whatever. We know where the Resistance are, but before we attack them, we're going to get a plan, build up our army, blah, blah, blah. But the Resistance, on the other hand, also know that they're coming. So the whole film is just a build up of offense, defense. So when it gets to the end, it's just a huge battle.
Massive battle.
Yeah, because I was blown away with the Battle of Endor on the planet and the space battle.
Yeah,
and you also had Luke and Vader.
Yeah, you had a three-way thing. You had the dog fights, you had the people on the ground, and you had Luke and Vader doing the final fight.
Because every time
good way of doing it.
Really well.
Every time you're watching one of the scenes, whether it be Vader and Luke fighting or whatnot, you'd be like, yes, I'm interested in this, but I want to know what's going on there.
That's
and then you go to that and you go, well, what's happening back there?
I think that was one thing they did really well with this film as well, is the fact that it was action. Every scene you were going for, even the smaller, slower bits, was still really plot driven.
Yeah.
That you just it was just the pacing was done so well with this film that it just every single moment was just so amped up every time you saw something. It was just really well done.
I think the Star Wars fans still would either want to see either a new form of walkers personally, or even if they get I know they had the full attack that Kyle Ray.
They probably have a new version of it.
Yeah, but even if they had the original stuff, I'd be like, attack.
Like they break it out or something.
Yeah,
we haven't used these in a while, and then bring them out. That would be cool.
Kind of like they do with the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Like, well, how does this work?
I mean, that was really cool when they were. One thing I didn't.
So let's use that shit. No, that's junk.
No, that's
then
junk.
The other one gets
and the phone up.
Okay, well, let's use the junk, and it's like that's not junk.
How dare you? How dare you say that?
But it was like, I think JJ needs to watch all 6 films and go, this worked, this didn't. So
and I think he did that. I think he watched the first film mainly. You could tell in the first film, but he thought what worked, what didn't, and he tried to play.
And he really took it back to the original trilogy as well. Cause even like the setting, it was all dusty and old.
Lived in, and that's what you need.
And then obviously compare it to like 1, 2, and 3, and that's all very sort of shiny and new and royal.
CGI and fake and blue screen.
What may or may not work is that one of the good points of the Phantom Menace, I thought, was the pod race.
Yeah, pod race was good.
To bring a pod race
was good. There was good points in Phantom Menace, but I'm just saying overall.
If he brought a pod race back, but with something more on the line than just a ship part, if it was something like, because I said to you, I wouldn't mind seeing a hut again.
Yeah,
because obviously Jabba's dead.
Point.
Yeah.
If one of the huts captures one of the main characters and he's like, right, huts are obviously gambling creatures. They go, you can have them back if you win the pod race. Something like that.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a pod race that was more epic than
it's got to make sense to the story, not just plonk it in because reasons.
Hardcore pod race, weapons and shit.
Yeah.
Kind of shit.
Right, so finally, star rating. Josh, I'm going to go with you first. What would you give this out of 5?
Right, I'm going to I'm going to give it 4.5. And the only reason I'm not giving it 5 is there's only maybe like 1 or 2 films that I will give a 5-star where I'm thinking, like, there's only a few films where, even if I'm there like by myself, I go, oh, I'll watch a bit of that, and even if it's 3 hours, I'll end up watching the whole thing in one go. I've got absolutely no problem with what we saw with Star Wars. It's still
Nothing's
to me
a perfect movie.
No, it's all opinions anyway. But it still, to me, just didn't by about that much didn't hold a candle to the original trilogy yet. It might even be one of those things where in a few years we look back and think, actually no, this is a badass film.
Yeah.
But I still think it's because I think the best is still yet to come. So it was episode 7 was the catalyst of how good 8 and 9 are going to be. So
Cool.
4.5. 4.5.
Alice, what are you going for?
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Okie dokie.
Reasons behind that.
Reasons?
Reasons.
Because reasons?
Because reasons. Purely personal ones. You guys might give it a 5 and you might like this. I wanted to know more of the characters. I wanted to kind of know a bit more about Finn. I just wanted those loose ends tying up.
You just
but like
wanted
I said,
a bit
I
more,
just wanted
yeah.
a tiny bit more. Like I said with Luke as well, I wanted a little bit more from him. But we're gonna get that. It's gonna come.
Yeah, it's gonna come.
Yeah.
I'm just really.
There's no way this is going to flop at the box office.
Yeah, it's already breaking records.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Before it was released.
Yeah.
And also, I felt it was just like 5 or 10 minutes too long.
Fair enough.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't think that at all.
I fair enough.
I could have stayed there for another half hour. Yeah.
In the zone.
Yeah.
It's just a tiny bit too long.
Right, okay.
It's
fair
because you're
enough.
tired. It was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know?
And I had
Wanna
to
go home?
Nottingham.
Yeah. It's like,
Well, for me, as
Different.
people have seen my other review by now, I'm sticking with my 5 just because I just came away so happy. Fuck you.
Should have seen his face.
That's me different.
I just became away so happy and gleaming. Just felt I'm finally back into this universe that I thought I'd never ever get a chance to do. The fact that we're back into a world where Star Wars films are coming out every year just blows my mind. The fact that I even got that opportunity that in the future I can take my own child to a new Star Wars film. It's a big deal, and it's the fact that we've got that new generation seeing these films now and understanding why we love these things so much. And these are the films that are giving them a reason to know that.
For you guys sitting there, well, for you that are watching this or going to watch this, that thing, oh, they're just saying that because they're Star Wars fans, Star Wars geeks.
It's
It's
not.
not just that.
It's not
We
just-
think Battlefront sucks.
Yeah.
We'll be the first to tell you if something sucks about Star Wars.
Yeah, it's just like
So-
we'll be completely honest if we thought the film sucked. But it's not. We're not saying it's a good film because it's Star Wars. We're saying it's a good film regardless.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
It's just a good film.
As a film student and someone that studied film, I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I told you personally, again, it's all opinions here, but I just didn't. It's going to sound stupid, but I didn't like the guy playing Kylo Ren because of his face. It
Just because of his
because
face.
he
He
didn't
didn't look menacing
seem.
enough.
No, he just
No.
like I'm a dog with a mop of hair.
Or some kind of scar.
Yeah, nothing like
Some-
Harrison.
No, he had a beauty spot. Kylo
Did he?
Ren
I didn't
has a
notice it, I
beauty
didn't
spot.
notice it.
What?
Well, he had a scar in the next one. He got slashed in the face at the end.
Yeah, he did.
The thing that when he finally took the helmet off, even if it was that actor,
It
that
was a-
face,
do you know,
I was
it was a
expecting a lot more like
It was a
this
bit
better, like a darkness.
Because you're worth it.
It-
His hair
yeah,
sort of
but
went.
to me, it seemed a lot more like, is this better? kind of thing. Not none of that menacing, like, how about now? Kind of thing. It's just-
Because you're worth it.
the mop of hair, I like long hair, but he looked nothing like Harrison, and he always looks. I know his character's conflicted, but it just seemed a little bit like, come on, out of all the epic bad guys you've had with CGI or actors, whatever, you picked. When a fellow dork thinks
Pretty
the bad guy's a dork, yeah, well, Hayden Christensen was a pretty boy,
Yeah, but he
made it work.
Yeah, but he was moany and whiny.
But he
couldn't
made
act.
it work when he
He
went.
couldn't act.
Sorry,
He
but he
couldn't
couldn't.
But he still made it work
he
when
was
he
better
turned
in
to the
number
dark
3, but
side.
overall it was.
Even then, it was a.
In Attack of the
So let's
Clones,
just get through this.
Well, yeah.
It was a bit painful.
In Attack of the Clones, you see this whole like, yeah, I'm understood teenager. He was full on
He's
Kylo
creepy.
Ren, but
He was
when he
angsty.
fell, and he I mentioned that scene where he's pushing the saber into Obi-Wan's face. The anger and
Yeah,
hate
the aggression
there.
was good.
Yeah,
That
He's
was-
like, he's got it. I don't think the guy's going to be capable of doing that.
I
This
think he
Kylo
will.
Ren.
To
He
be
might
fair, there was
surprise me.
one
I don't
scene
know.
where when they were at the edge of the cliff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he was sweating.
Yeah, the
Right.
sweating
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
fin.
Yeah,
that was good.
that was
That was
good.
good. So
Yeah.
yeah, overall we thought it was a great film, and we highly recommend that you go and see it if you can book tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Sneaking. It was great. It was so good. So guys, that's what the three of us thought of Star Wars The Force Awakens. What did you think about it? You can let us know down in the comments, or you can send us an email. You can also find Nerd Bites on all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and moviepilot.com. Just type in Nerd Bites anywhere, and I'm sure you'll find us. Also, Josh, where can people find you? Just Facebook.
In the pub.
You can find me on facebook.com/Josh Jones, I think.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot
Inventive.
of Josh Jones, yeah.
And then, Alice, where can people find you if they want to talk to you about shit?
You can find me on Twitter at the tag @Alice_DX, and Alice has 2 eyes.
Cool.
Nice.
And then obviously you just find me at Nerd Bites everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere now.
Yeah, so we really enjoyed this review. We had a lot of fun with it, I think. And
Yeah.
thanks for everybody that stuck around to watch all of it. So until next time, keep it nerdy.